we bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Carlo Pamintuan, and in tonight's game plan, we'll chat up with newly crowned PBA Philippine Cup champions from the TNT Tropang Giga Mikey Williams and Reyes as they relive their journey to the title.
We'll then play a little game called Battle of NBA Generations alongside our TNT players. And we'll check in with finals foes Jude Garcia and Pareja, who clash in the Beach Volleyball Republic on Tour 2021 Santa Ana, Cagayan Leg 2. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Now, there is no better way to kick off your PBA career than wrapping up your first ever conference with a championship. From killer crossovers to pull-up threes from anywhere on the floor, TNT's super rookie Mikey Williams electrified on the court on his way to becoming one of the most exciting players in the league. Alongside vets and superstars like The Blur, Jason Castro, Machine Gun Kelly, and Reyes, to name a few, the TNT Tropang Giga put on a show in the playoffs en route to their 8th title in franchise history. Now, joining us to relive their 2021 PBA Philippine Cup journey are two generations of TNT Tropang Giga stars who came together to bring home the chip. PBA Finals MVP Mikey Williams and 7-time PBA champ Reyes. Gentlemen, welcome to the game.
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for having
Appreciate
us.
you guys having us.
You know, it's so great to have the both of you here, especially after a great campaign there. Mike, I want to start off with you first. Obviously, historic season. I'm sure this experience is completely different to everything that you've experienced throughout your young career so far. Can you tell us a bit about how you feel now that everything has kind of set in?
Now that everything's set in, it was a huge blessing. I mean, definitely came down to all the hard work that we put in, and it just all paying off at the end of the day. And it still feels like a surreal moment. I mean, I still wake up every day like, wow, I'm really a PBA champion.
That's definitely a good way to wake up, knowing that you're a champion. Kuya Ryan, coming from the championship in the PBA bubble and then now to 2021, what were the biggest changes, aside from, of course, welcoming Mikey Williams and Coach Chot Reyes back into the PBA? What did you feel was the biggest difference in the squad? Why was it enough for you to win the championship this time?
I think we had just the gelling of the team, the chemistry. We had a lot of time as well in the off season to train and know each other's strengths and weaknesses and learn from that. So, and then learning from the past bubble as well. So it helped us a lot this bubble.
Yeah, you know, Mike, I want to circle back to you here because you mentioned in an interview that it took you a minute to actually get adjusted, to get used to being part of this team. Can you tell us a bit about the challenges that you went through just to get comfortable, just to be able to contribute in the way that you did for TNT?
Well, the guys welcomed me with open arms. I mean, I came to, I missed training camp, and I wasn't able to make a couple practices with the guys till I got out of quarantine, and that was a challenge in itself. But as soon as I got on the court with everybody, it felt just right. Everybody welcomed me with open arms, helping me from day one to learn everything I needed to, just to fit in. And I really commend the guys and the coaching staff for truly helping me and making me feel at home.
Kuya Ray, what was your first impression of Mikey? Because he came into the league with a lot of hype. A lot of people were thinking that he could be one of the top scorers in the league. So how was he in his first few days? Pretend he's not here. Let us know what you really feel.
Actually, when he came in, I wasn't there. I was actually on COVID protocols. So, but when I saw him, finally seeing him play, on TV, I was like, oh, he's going to be something special. He just needs to settle in, get used to the type of style, and coming off the plane, it's hard just to play right away, and quarantine as well. So I saw in him that he was gonna do fine the way he is, and he works hard and everything, and just the type of person he is, humble and just a hard worker.
Kuya Ryan, we all know that back in the PBA bubble, the last conference, there were games where you did not get a lot of minutes. There were games that you got a bit more opportunities. But in terms of just preparing yourself for another year in the PBA, how did you take care of yourself physically, and also how did you keep your confidence high? Because we know that it is very difficult when you're not getting the opportunities on the floor.
You just got to just stay ready. I had our trainers, our PT, Coach Dre, Coach Mike, Coach Dex, and our nutritionist, Coach Janet, just helping me throughout the whole off season, just trying to get in great shape, be ready, and just taking care of my body health wise, and and that's what helped me throughout this this bubble, and just staying ready, because Coach Chot just picks anyone off the bench, and you just got to be ready when he does, and that's what we all did.
Speaking of taking care of your body, we all saw what happened, at least I did, at the end of game number 5, how you and Kelly Williams were a little bit banged up. Kelly took a seat during the celebration. Kuya Rai, how happy were you to wrap things up in game number 5? Because I'm sure you weren't even remotely interested in playing a game number 6.
Yeah, we told each other we can finally rest. Glad that we won. There was no game 5 anymore. But we were banged up. I know he was banged up. I was banged up and tired. But we had to pull through and finish till the end, and which we did. And that's what counts. And all the tiredness from working hard throughout the whole training camps and this thing just all paid off.
Mikey, we saw a bit of the accolades of Kuya Ryan just a while ago. Again, 7-time PBA champion, 3-time PBA All-Star, 3-time PBA All-Defensive Team, and of course, Rookie of the Year back in 2008. And we talked a bit about the veterans as well. We saw Kelly really struggle with his body. What did you learn from the vets throughout this experience?
Rooming with Ryan for like half of the bubble, and then having vets like Kelly and Jason, you learn a lot about being a pro, being a better pro. Because those guys carry themselves with so much humility and, so much leadership that they bring to the table. You can't do anything but follow, because those are great leaders to be leading us. And throughout the whole bubble, those are who we leaned on when it came to, them being vocal and them pushing us, holding us accountable. Little things like that. That's what helped us get over the hump.
Well, Kuya Rai, when we talk a bit about the younger players of this team, because there were a lot of players who have not won a championship, who have come so close, but then were unable to get past that hump, sometimes just one game away. How does this make you feel, knowing that this group in particular, like the likes of RRs and Troy, were finally able to get their hands on a trophy?
Oh, I'm super happy for those guys, especially knowing that first one, and seeing all the hard work they've been putting through, everything from when they got on the team, because I've been on the team since they were rookies, and seeing that final buzzer and them becoming champions finally. I know I can see all the emotion and everything, and I felt what they felt, and it feels good to know that they felt that, and happy that they got there first.
Mikey, you know that Ryan Reyes is the only local to ever pick up 10 steals in a ball game, right?
I heard. I definitely heard. Ryan is a tremendous defender. He definitely brought the spark when we needed it. And his intensity, everybody just wanted to feed off that and play harder. And I feel like he definitely was the difference maker for us in this championship run, because there was a lot of games where we were flat, and Ryan came with the energy, and everybody just followed and tried to follow suit and pick up our energy as well. And definitely commend Ryan for that.
Mikey, a lot has been said with your matchup against Chris Ross, of course, him defending you during the semifinals and preparing you for the finals. But I think we also have to talk about how you were defended in practice by Kuya Ryan maybe, or Brian Neruela, or Kib Montalvo. Can you just let us in on how those defensive-minded players also pushed you during your preparations, during your practices?
Oh, they made this transition a lot better for me, a lot easier. You know, going against guys like that every single day in practice is basically what you're going to see in the game. And their physicality, just how they approach defense. You know, I really got a sense of how much pride they're really taking it. And that upped my game as well because that made me want to do the same.
Mikey Ryan, again, congratulations for winning the PBA Philippine Cup this year in very, very difficult circumstances. But we're not done with you yet because after the break, we'll play a little game called Battle of NBA Generations alongside Mikey Williams and Ryan Reyes. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. I'm Paulo De Rosario alongside Carlo Pamintuan. We are still joined by our PBA champions Mikey Williams and Ryan Reyes, and as much as we talked about the championship generations of TNT and the PBA, now let's transition to generation talk in the NBA. It's time for us to play a little game we like to call the Battle of NBA Generations. Well, that title card got me a lot more hyped than I should have been. But then we have still Mikey Williams and Ryan Reyes to join us here to talk about. So basically what we're going to ask you to do is we're going to give you two names and get you to pick which one you prefer amongst the other, and a little explanation why, you know, because we don't want to let you off the hook that easy. Since we're going to start out with, the debate has happened for a bit already. Let's start out with Mikey Williams here. So Mikey, if you had to choose between Ray Allen and Klay Thompson, who would you pick?
I'm going vintage Ray.
Vintage Ray. Why Ray?
Vintage Ray. He was different when he was with Milwaukee and the Sonics. Just his game was crazy. Off the dribble, dunking everybody, and then he was still shooting threes. I don't know. That's a tough guard to me. Like one of the toughest guards ever.
Well, you know, there's a lot of debate going around with Klay not making the top 75, but then I don't think you're too mad at that after that explanation. But we're going to leave that at that. Let's move on now, Carlo. Who we got next?
Kuya Ryan, please know that there is a wrong answer and a right answer with this one. Nikola Jokic or Dirk Nowitzki?
Ooh, I'm going to go with Dirk.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Good choice. I like that one.
All right, why Dirk, especially when you got a guy like Nikola who's always a MVP contender these days?
Yeah, he was like maybe one of the first stretch fours in the league, and just his fadeaway with the one leg up, and he couldn't stop that. And he was a dog.
Yeah, I get you. And I don't know, Carlo, you happy? You happy with that
Of
pick
course,
and that
of
comparison?
course. I trusted that Ryan Reyes would answer correctly in that.
All right. Okay, so now we move on to another guard matchup here. Actually, the original matchup for a lot of people would have been Steph Curry versus Trae Young, but then because the answer would probably be obvious, we pick Steph over Trae. We kind of downgraded a little bit, just by a little, and we take a look at this. So, Mikey, pick between Damian Lillard and Trae Young.
I'm going Dame time. His body of work, you know, what he's done every single season is immaculate. Just what he's done to the game, how they call him Logo Lillard. He's that name for a reason, and he's just an absolute killer, of course.
Well, of course, when you got Damian Lillard's body of work, but where do you think Trae's ceiling's at?
Oh, it's sky's the limit. I mean, he's getting there. You know, a couple more seasons and he'll be right where he really needs to be. But he still has a lot of. I feel like he has a lot more body of work to do. But he's definitely making a real household name for himself this early in his career.
Absolutely.
Now moving on to two freaks of nature. Of course, we're talking about a couple of MVPs in Giannis Antetokounmpo and Shaquille O'Neal. If you were to start a franchise, both players in their primes, would you go Diesel or would you go Giannis, Kuya Rai?
Man, yeah, that's a tough one because I'm a
That's
Laker
tough.
fan.
Oh, that makes it easy then.
Yeah, but Giannis is just a different breed now, man. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Shaq, the Diesel.
Yeah, you got to go with Shaq there. That's tough, Carlo.
I just have one question to Ryan. Now, Kuya Rai, do you think that Shaquille gets a little bit on the raw end of the deal when we talk about all-time greats in terms of centers? Because you talk about your Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, of course, your Bill Russells, your Wilts. But, you know, Shaquille, do you think he's getting the respect that he deserves?
I think so. Because he's a great. He's all of is he all? No, I'm not sure, but he's gonna be there if ever. I think he's one of the greats in the center, for sure. Just the way he was, especially in his era.
Yeah, and you know, you got to deal with preferences as well, what type of center you want. And I think it's easy to say that he was the most dominant one back in the 90s for sure. Now, moving on to Mikey, we actually wanted to find someone to match up with Kobe, but then we couldn't figure out
Good luck.
just one guy, right? So we're going to try and put together the combined ceilings of Jason Tatum and Devin Booker against Kobe Bryant. I mean, is there anyone that comes close to the Bean, in your opinion? Especially, even if you put these two together?
Well, I'm biased. I'm a Lakers fan too, so and a big Kobe fan. So like, I feel like there's nobody that's gonna be able to simulate what he's brought to the game. Like, just his tenacity, just his mentality. You know, it's something different that nobody's seen. I mean, but Jason Tatum and Devin Booker are coming into their own as well, and they're not that far behind, but Kobe's always just going to be Kobe, in my opinion.
Wrapping things up in our generational discussions, we saw these two guys on the same floor just a few days ago. I'm sure Paolo was very happy to see them play. We have our two kabayans. You have Jalen Green and Jordan Clarkson. Kuya Ryan, we know what Jordan Clarkson can do, but do you think that Jalen Green will have a higher ceiling, higher possibilities for him in his rookie season?
I think so, man. That kid is unbelievable, and his athleticism is, man, tremendous. But being his first year, you can see already his confidence in the game and how he picks things up fast. Like Mikey says, his ceiling is going to be, you know, it's up there compared to these other greats, and I believe his future's going to be nice.
All right, thank you very much. Those are PBA champions, TNT, Tropang Gigas, Mikey Williams, and Ryan Reyes. Thank you very much for joining us here and answering our very difficult questions. You got the really important one right, though. Dirk Nowitzki over Nikola Jokic for Carlo here. He would have walked out of the set if it were different.
Thank you, champs.
Thanks for having us, man. We appreciate
Thank you guys.
And when we return, we will check in with Beach Volleyball Republic Finals foes Jude Garcia and AJ Pareja. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. The Beach Volleyball Republic offered us hot-hitting stand action over the weekend in the second leg of the BVR on Tour 2021 Santa Ana, Cagayan. Joining us back here in Manila is BVR 2021 Santa Ana leg finalist Doc AJ Pareja, and still from the beautiful beaches of Santa Ana, Cagayan is double gold winner from Creamline, Jude Garcia. Gentlemen, welcome to the game.
Hey guys, thank you for having us.
Jude,
Thank you
AJ,
for
thank you
having
so
us.
much for the time. Thank you so much for joining us. We just got over the action, of course, but how was it to finally get to compete again? We'll talk to the champion first, double gold medalist Jude. Kumusta yung competition for you?
Para sa akin po, maganda kasi unang-una yung mga protocols na gawa naman, and then syempre hindi naman na kami bago kasi nangyari din sa amin yun sa Thailand nung last na AVC Continental Cup. So parang hindi naman laking adjustment para sa amin na ganun setup. So para sa amin naging mas advantage pa kami kasi alam namin yung mga yung kung paano mag-prepare ganyan. So yun po.
Doc AJ, unang-una, ang ganda ng setup mo dyan. Ha? Parang streamer ka talaga eh. I love the
Yeah.
lights at the background. But Doc, grabe, from the first leg, hindi kayo nag-semifinals to being finalists here. What happened in the span over a week that you were able to up your game to finally reach the finals?
It's what we're proud of as a pair, me, Henry Picaña, is pataas yung laro namin from first leg down to the last match in the championship. But the first leg was really tough because we were put in the pool of death because it's two pools, and doon sa pool namin na yun, nandun kagad sila Jude, nandun din yung Young Guns from PLDT, tapos there's this surprise team, Negros, and me and Henry we felt a little bit pressured to play perfectly because it's our comeback, or parang kami yung older generation na still trying to gun it out with the young ones. So medyo pressure talaga nung first leg. Then once we got the hang of it, tuloy-tuloy na dun sa until the second leg when we qualified for the finals.
Now, Jude, you won two championships two gold medals in a span of 9 days. Can you describe kung gaano kahirap yun, just keeping yourself physically up there, because we know the challenges of beach volleyball. How hard was it to keep that level of play in that span?
Sobrang hirap po kasi nga syempre nasa bubble kami. So yung kumbaga kung paano mo i-maintain yung kondisyon mo sa katawan, napakahirap. Kaya sobrang thankful kami na nakuha namin yung dalawang championship. Lalo na sa akin kasi nga first back-to-back champion, tsaka nakakuha ko ng championship sa Beach Valley sa entire career ko. So yun, sobrang memorable talaga sa akin.
Well, Jude, yung mga competitors mo in that competition range from players who were fresh out of college to returning players to more veteran presences on the sand court. How was yung experience na yun, seeing all these generation of beach volleyball athletes come together? And who did you have the most difficulty playing against? Yung mga, the fresher, young out of college players, or those more experienced?
Siyempre po, yung mga veterans pa rin, and then siyempre susunod din yung mga young guns. Kasi sa mga veterans talaga, sila kaya Doc AJ, kasi andun yung experience nila eh. Kaya sobrang na-challenge kami pag nakalaban namin sila. And also yung mga young guns din. Parang same lang yung same lang yung level ng intensity ng game. Kaya sobrang ganda ng mga laruan dito sa Beach Valley. Sobrang taas ng level din. Ganito.
Doc AJ, I think nag-abot pa tayo sa college, no? So ako na nahihirapang magsintas ng sapatos paminsan. A little bit older than you are, but just can you describe the additional challenge of staying, in that top physical form? Kasi alam natin yung mga kaka-graduate lang ng college, condition na condition eh. And then you see how hard they work. Does it push you to work even harder to, get into that physical level that you can go up against them?
Definitely, kasi I know I'm the tallest player in the league, but Jude has the highest reach. Talagang nakaka-pressure to keep up with Jude, lalo na sa ere. But me and my partner Henry were from the same generation of players sa UAAP around season 70. I'll leave that up to you kung anong 70s.
Oh, wag na
yan.
yung year.
Yeah. Our performance to make it to the finals was more than a year in progress. Like ever since pandemic, we didn't stop on our own. Kung may chance to train, we will do it. But mostly on our own, talagang it's all about this discipline sa kain, sa pag workout at home or at the gym. And I believe that we wouldn't have been able to qualify to the finals if our preparation was just short. And talagang yung preparation namin, especially for our age, had to be longer, like more than a year in the making to.
Well, Doc AJ, you and Carlo are actually two of the people whose pandemic bodies have improved the most. This is not a joke. These two gentlemen here have had the most incredible body changes that I am jealous of. Pero let's move on muna to Jude. Jude, obviously you're still in training, you're still in the bubble. Anong next step for you guys? What else are you going to look forward to? And what do the fans have to look for in terms of yung schedule nyo?
Siguro yung yung upcoming games namin sa Thailand, sa Phuket, Thailand this November 23 to 28. So kasama namin si Doc AJ doon, magka-teammate na kami. I-represent po namin yung Pilipinas sa AVC. So yun po yung schedule namin. And then sa December, yung PNBF na Champions League. Yun na po yung last ata namin na liga for the year.
Doc AJ, Jude, thank you very much. Congratulations for everything you've achieved during the BVR and good luck sa Thailand in the next coming days.
Yes, thank you so much and please support us this November. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Pamintuan.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.